Coming up on The Last Word, Newcastle finally get their act together and put out Chelsea in the League Cup and advance to the quarter-finals. We've got fans wanting to say hello all the way from the Isle of Man.
Watch this on YouTube. Never get a chance to see us. Always love it.
And even Keith Downie wants to have a chat for a few minutes with us during The Last Word.
That's what you have to do tonight. Go out there and show it. Stop talking about it. Stop being frustrated that things aren't happening. Go out and make it happen yourself. And they did that tonight.
And how big of a win was that for Eddie Howe? We'll hear from him a little bit later. Welcome everybody. This is The Last Word with Jonny and Lee.
Yes, we are back at St James's Park. Lee's gone all the way down to Stamford Bridge, and he's come.
I wasn't happy bunny there. Like,
you weren't that last word. It was a good video, but for the wrong reasons. This is going to be a good video for the right reasons. But he's back up to St James's Park, where we've just seen a Newcastle United side play very, very well at football. That is what we wanted to see. Lee, when we look at the team news, Chelsea make 11 changes. We'll come on to them shortly. But in terms of Newcastle, a few changes, particularly in the defence. Emil Kraft comes in at right back. Lloyd Kelly starts at left centre half as well. They were probably the two changes. And then Willock and Longstaff coming in from midfield with Bruno on the bench. Barnes on the bench as well. It was an interesting one.
Yeah, the Gordon one, I didn't actually want to risk him, I'll be honest with you. Because with his injury, I thought, let's not risk him, let's save him for Arsenal. But I was like, so he mustn't have been that serious then if he's starting. Left centre-back, Lloyd Kelly, first time we've had a proper good look at him. I thought he was absolutely brilliant tonight, so that gives more food for thought for Eddie Howe. I expected Longstaff to come in, I expected Willock to start. I've been crying out the last couple of videos. Start Joe Willock, start, because what he gives you is energy, legs, gets in the box. And interesting how he set up as well.
Do you think the midfielders, I know obviously Bruno's an outstanding player and I'm asking it to be chopped, but do you not think the midfield today is just the perfect balance in terms of the three individuals?
And I've said this before, that Bruno, just because you're captain, shouldn't be undroppable. I think there should be times where you need to take him out. Not often, because even when he came on the day, he was actually brilliant, you know what I mean? But there should be times where he shouldn't be starting every single game just because he's actually, not club captain, he's pitch captain, as Jamal Lascelles is. But there should be times to have that balance for Tonali in the centre, and then the other two running off and were absolutely sensational. Like, I think we've got to look at that maybe later in the season or mix it around. It can't always be a static three.
Yeah, and obviously with Chelsea's side, 11 changes, but still a very, very strong side. You've got Tosin Adebayo, Benmo Badiashile and Axel Disasi, who have all been linked with Newcastle.
They're not taking it seriously when you make 11 changes.
They're not. And look, Cole Palmer's just come up to the north-east and then coming back down in the fight. What's the point? You may as well just leave him at home if that's the case. But look, you can only beat what's in front of you, and Newcastle did do that, but it's still a very strong Chelsea team. You look at the forward three, and Nkunku down the middle, who I think is very underrated. Felix is João Felix, let's be honest. And you've got Mudryk, is meant to be a £100 million winger.
Keith Hall as well, play on that right.
Yeah, I thought he was poor for them. But look, in terms of the start, 1 minute in, and Anthony Gordon just leaving a little one and Cucurella and the ball going out to play set the tone for Newcastle United today.
I think it is, and we've missed that, Johnny, having on the season, because you look at like the last couple of years, we've been the dark horse and people not wanting to play against when people call him with time wasters, like Teta, funny enough, got him coming up this weekend. That little, come on, let's get the crowd going, we're happy. It's the little shit things that make the big things happen. We've just missed that the crowd, and I was a little bit worried about the atmosphere. I think, cup atmosphere, you know how it goes, you've got not your regulars here, people won't sing, but it was loud there beneath it was really loud, probably up there the loudest this season up there of Man City.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. From the Gallagher, it's different, because when you hear from the Gallagher and then you hear from, like, say, level 7, you think, oh, maybe it's not as loud, but down pitch side it was, wasn't it?
Well, I only heard one, Chelsea, just one, that was it.
That's probably one more than you heard at Stamford Bridge, to be honest. But anyway, moving on. Newcastle were on the press. Chelsea, the goalkeeper's probably the most important player for them, because when he's got the ball at his feet, and it's scary in terms of what they want to do. But Maresca, that's his style of playing. Chelsea fans are going to have to get used to it. But it came from a Newcastle press, forcing into a Chelsea mistake for Newcastle to go 1-0 up, and Joelinton nicking the ball in essentially the central midfield, that number 6 position. Sonardi plays a pass into the path of Alexander Isak, who puts in the back of the net just what we needed 20 minutes in.
Luckily I got a replay of that, because I went back on my phone at half time, so it's Joelinton who's doing the high press, which forces Sonardi does like a slide pass that goes in Isak, and Isak has now got 2 and 2. Yes, you can talk about rounding the keeper on the weekend, he should have done a lot better, but confidence goals, isn't it? And you look at the 2 goals that he scored. It was a tap in, but the movement on Sunday, I forgot Sunday, I forgot what day of the week it is, man, for the games. And then tonight is literally he's been fed because of the high press. Strikers will take that all day long. It doesn't matter if you don't have to score. 35-year-old like Thierry Henry, worldies every week. You can do the Haalands, you can do the Fox in the box, and massive for his confidence. Good start, really good start.
Yeah, perfect start in terms of that 20-minute
But
mark.
can I just say as well, Chelsea was struggling with that. Their goalkeeper looked even worse than Sanchez, and that was at Stamford Bridge the weekend. I was right next to the Chelsea fans, and they were all giving him Sanchez stick behind the goal. I'm like, that's your home fans giving the keeper stick. You fucking shit. You're this. You can't kick the ball. I'm like, that's your home support. Imagine us doing that, Nick Cole.
Yeah, no, it's a different kettle of fish, I suppose, with them. But look, you're thinking at that point, Lee, at 1-0 up, you're thinking, right, can we put the accelerator on? Can we put the hand on the throttle and just go, right, we're going to go for it? And we did, and with Alexander Isak, it's a fantastic. Alexander Isak does a lot for this goal. He doesn't score it, but he almost does everything. He goes away from the free kick in terms of where all the other players are. Well. Yeah, and Lewis Hall plays the short pass down the line. Alexander Isak turns, cross, did get his deflection, but Joe Willock gets a head on it, and it's an own goal by Axel Disasi, which has been credited an own goal. I'm going to say Joe Willock scored, but he just put it in the back of the net.
I've been crying out for Joe Willock to start the last, because I've been banging the drum from the last couple of weeks because that midfield just wasn't working. Look what that proves.
But do you not think today
just get in the box? Look what it does. It causes havoc.
But do you not think the fact that Joe Linton was playing on the left for the vast majority of the game today helped as well in terms of that forward three?
Yeah, and it was interesting to see him over there and Gordon on the right, and obviously now the switch at half time. Not a big fan of Joe Linton on the right hand side. I get it, but on the left hand side he's more prominent. He has a good link up with Willock. Didn't see loads of that tonight because I actually think that. Yes, I know you'll probably call it the second half, but that first half was really high intensity, in the faces, high pressure, make them make mistakes, getting the foot in, making them scared of like they don't have much time on the ball when they get the ball.
Look, in terms of Chelsea chances, before Newcastle even made a 1-0, João Felix, had a bit of, they had a shot on the edge of the box, which, from essentially a Chelsea counter-attack because Newcastle gave the ball away, and it was a scary effort, if you like. But in terms of Chelsea chances after that, it was comfortable ones. João Felix had a shot on the edge of the box, which is comfortably saved from Nick Pope. But there's been a couple of times, one in the first half, one in the second half, where Lloyd Kelly puts his body on the line.
I was you were going to mention that.
Puts his body on the line.
That's a goal.
And it is a goal. And that they are essentially, goal savers. You've got goalkeepers, but put your body on the line. And particularly one in the first half, because at 2-0, can we get the half time at 2-0? Well, Lloyd Kelly made a massive difference for that.
100%. He did, as you say, in the second half, that block, because it was only, 6 or 7 yards due. If he just, because everyone ran to him, applauded him and said, well done mate, and all this sort of stuff. If he doesn't do that, that's 2-1 going into half time. It could be very, very different because it's squeaky bum time when it's 2-1. I think it's really important to go in at half time, not concede, having that cushion.
Yeah, and that was crucial. It's a really good point. But Newcastle defended very, very well. Emil Kraft again, I'm going to mention him a bit more later on, but I thought he was outstanding as well tonight. Second half, Newcastle. I thought Newcastle were pretty comfortable, if I'm honest.
I think we were, but it was a totally different tactic. And
sit back and counter-attack.
But that's plan B, isn't it? Because people have been criticising Eddie Howe saying he hasn't got plan B. We've been criticising him as well. That is plan B. He's thought, right, okay, we've done plan A, that's where to treat. Second half, we're going to literally go on the low block. Effectively, that's what it was. Chelsea couldn't get through it. I mean, at one point we had Joe Linton literally almost as a right back.
Was it too early for the low block, or was it perfect timing?
A little bit. I thought it was a bit because it was effective from 50, 55 minutes. Right, we're taking it. We're going to just sit in. And all he needed is a goal to go in. And then that's just literally, it's pressure. But thankfully they held off. But it worked. And you've got to see it. And it's a big, I'll come to it later, but it's a massive win for Eddie Howe today. Yeah,
it is a big win. We'll talk about Eddie Howe, obviously in the second half of last word, about obviously tonight's victory. Isak come off 60-65. For Willis Sula.
You worried about looked a bit of a niggle?
I think it was just cramp more than anything. But again, I'm fine with that. Isak did what he had to do, scored and got a half an assist, if you want to call it that, depending if how the dubious goals panel will look at it. But I thought it was actually almost perfect timing to bring Bruno on as well. And I thought Bruno was outstanding when he came in. But I want to talk about Willis Sula. Hit the post. But he made himself a bit of a nuisance when a couple of free kicks. Was that the best performance from Willis Sula against it? Look, it's still a very good side he's up against.
You can still say, because when Bruno picked the ball up and he's played him through, the Sula's not quite looking where that ball's coming from. Bruno's pointing, you should have got that. And that's a small little tweak because Isak reads that, makes the ball be scoring goal. So that's probably the different small things. But obviously, he had that shot that come off the post where he turned. He was putting himself about. He looked a little bit raw, put himself about and all this sort of stuff. And obviously, the tactic was not a high press, so he was trying to just back off the ball as well. A lot more minutes in the tank was good. That one got that cushion. I don't think. And honestly, if it was 2-1, I don't think he comes on that early.
No, he doesn't, but it's an improvement. That's what we needed to see. Have you
because
improved?
we sit on the bench and like, oh, well, he's not good enough. Well, what's he doing on the bench? You can have all that debate again. I've talked about that last 2 or 3 videos. And if he's on the bench, he's there to be used.
Yeah, he is. And look, Newcastle completely changed the left-hand side. Gordon was on the left at that point when he got taken off. And Hall came off as well. Lloyd Kelly moved to left-back. Dan Burn came centre-half as well. And
Joe Linton came back over.
Joe Linton came back over. Bruno kind of, obviously we mentioned Bruno came on before, but it was just comfortable for Newcastle.
We went 5 at the back, didn't we? And it was like...
Yeah, I thought Tino played well when he came on actually as well. I don't think anybody really had a bad game. The only real moment I was like, was when Enzo Fernandez played a lovely pass into the path of João Felix. It was a bit of a...
Oh, is that what Dan Burn slides?
Yeah, Dan Burn just completely doesn't get anywhere near it.
Yeah.
And Felix dinks it over, but it just goes wide. That was the closest Chelsea came second half.
I actually think that's the key moment in that second half.
Yeah, I think if it goes 2-1, you're thinking, can Newcastle hold on? Didn't 2-0, you had that safety buffer, and then,
big chance for Chelsea.
And then the last, but not...
Last word, lads. Love it. From the Island man.
Oh, thank you very much.
Watches on the Island.
Nice to meet
Watches
you.
on YouTube. Never get a chance to see us. Always love it. Thank you.
Top man.
Thank you very much.
Watch all the drive down videos and that's spot on, man.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you,
All of
Johnny.
it. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Say all of...
Sam was saying hello.
Oh, no, who's Sam?
It was just the Midlands games, man.
I know.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
So you got people from the Island man who just want to come and say hello. How much did you pay him?
I didn't.
Give up, man. Give up. You paid him.
That was nice.
It was very nice. But before we talk about Eddie Howe in the press conference and we'll go and hear what he has to say, Emil Kraft did almost like a Maradona run.
It was like Krafu again, wasn't it?
Krafu?
He's thinking, I'm running the club shop, yeah, it's just open, I'm going to run my way down there. I don't know what he was thinking.
It's class though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good fun. I mean, it was... Look, it's little things that you can look back, because obviously we won tonight. Because Fabian Schär's done it a couple of times this season already. But it was a funny moment for Krafu, but nothing came of it, sadly.
What's the highlight of the moment, even before kick-off?
Why?
We won the toss. Shooting towards the Gallagher second half. Oh my God.
That, yeah. And surprisingly,
I celebrated that like a goal.
Bruno wasn't captain.
Oh no. Can't
Well
wait.
done, Fabian Schär.
I know, I can't wait to shoot at the Gallagher against Arsenal first half, but hey ho, we move on. Eddie Howe, there was a lot of talk. There's some difficult questions. There were some stupid questions in the press conference as well, may I add, on Tuesday morning. But as he answered a few critics there, Eddie Howe's Newcastle United are in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. Eddie, what did you make of that?
We needed a performance and a result. I think we got that tonight, especially in the first half. Thought it was a hallmark, us at our best, front foot, really good energy, good feel, good quality, good attitude most importantly, and a massive win for us. Yeah, I always think football changes and games change in a heartbeat, and also feelings and momentum can change really quickly. And I think for us, when you're in a difficult moment, you need someone to spark you into life the opposite way, and the only people that can do that is us, ourselves, players, staff, coming together and ultimately winning football matches is what we need to do. I think the intention was really good today from the players. I think you can see from kick-off we were there mentally. The quality for me has never been in doubt. The fitness levels and sharpness look good today. So we beat a very good team today. Let's make no illusions. I know they made changes, but they're still a top team full of outstanding players. So a really big performance from the group.
Newcastle United.
Do a Rafa.
Yeah, Newcastle United have got. Ta-da!
Amazing, that, isn't it?
Amazing.
Oh,
it's amazing, isn't it? I'm not going to speak about the draw too much because obviously we don't know who we're going to get.
Let us know in the comments what you think about
what
the
did
draw.
you make of the draw? Let us know. But
Cup run, we're the same. 2 local lads. We want to go to Wembley. Want to see, the team lift a trophy. I'll take relegation and a trophy. I'm that kind of fan. I want to see a trophy. I'll always remember a trophy. Relegations you kind of forget, don't you? Because we're expected to come straight back up.
Well,
Not that I want a relegation.
yeah, well, no.
But my God, we're not far off.
no, but Newcastle will play Leicester at home, and then the cup game, and then Ipswich away. So it's kind of in a nice little area because you look at the two teams, two newly promoted teams, it's kind of fell nicely, whoever we play. Going back onto the game itself, and I want to talk about Eddie Howe. I think he was under pressure from the press, not necessarily the match-going fans in terms of his future. I don't think that was the case at all with the match-going fans.
Not yet, but I've noticed in the YouTube comments there was a lot more. I don't know if that's people from neutral fans or Mackham's jumping on wanting Eddie Howe out. I said at Stamford Bridge, I don't want him out because he can turn it around.
He's got enough credit in the bank.
100%. And I know people are going to say, oh, what does that get you? Well, look what he's done tonight. Look what he's just pulled off tonight. A great best half this season. That's better than Man City, in my opinion, for the first half anyways. And he's came and got a result, and that's what he can do. And I know we might come in at Arsenal, we might get beat on the weekend because we're probably expecting Arsenal to be favourites, let's be honest. But if we get beat, we might be sitting in 14th, 15th. But I think a win tonight just stops that. Because I think if we lost 3 in a row, I fear for his job. I really, really do. Because I've not come out and said all season, coming out, home and away, you know what we do, every game, men and women. I'm enjoying watching the women more than the men at the minute because I'm coming out, I just felt so negged out coming to Stamford Bridge. I just think took its time on me because we are not performing well. I think that puts it back a gear.
Well, Sam and I have done a Green and Moan the show, and it's going to be out tomorrow with Ian Stone, who, of course, does a lot of stuff with Talk. He's a gooner, does a lot of stuff with Talk Sport. He's got a comedy show in Newcastle to stand on the 16th of November. Tickets are still available.
And you can also listen to this podcast on Talk Sport platforms as well.
Exactly, there you go. But when we did the introduction to that, which if you remember, you get that before anybody else, just 99 pence, Sam and I discussed that, and I said the point to Sam is after the Chelsea game on Sunday, yes, I'm a bit flat, but I've almost still got to remind myself of where I was 3-4 years ago. It's a little bit different. It's more, we know we've got the players, we know we can do better. Tonight was the first start of that. Is the next step now, Lee? We've got to take that into our Premier League form because Arsenal and Forest before the next international break are difficult games.
For me, the next step is consistently qualifying for Europe. I know on a technicality that was taken away against the last game of the FA Cup final. That was taken away from her, but I think that has to be the aim. I think you've got to qualify for Europe. Season after season, because I actually think Aston Villa are ahead of us now.
Yeah, I agree.
And not just that, look how they're performing in the Champions League. They've got an absolutely world-class manager who the board wanted first. Let's not forget ourselves. I do like Eddie Howe, but to the next level. There's some fans who've said in the comments he's not that man. I believe he still is at the moment. I think he needs massively backed in January, and then we'll see where we are at the end of the season. But if we don't qualify for Europe, I think it's gone.
The board let him down in the summer, and I know Eddie Howe will.
And you to play devil's advocate, I know I've done this with you. We don't know if it was all the board, it was just Eddie Howe, because Mitchell's come out and said, well, Eddie Howe only wanted Mark Gahey. You know, Eddie Howe didn't.
Are they playing games? Because I think they're playing games personally.
Well, I've done that in the past with the press. You know, you've seen the whole Tonali signing. 2 weeks later, we were linked and heavily linked to Brella from Inter. And next thing you know, you've got Tonali signed just like that. It came out the blue. It was a smoke screen. And the press fell for that. I think the Telegraph fell for that. I think the Guardian even fell for that. I think Luke Edwards fell for that.
What did you make of Alexander Isak's last appearance for Newcastle? Because obviously he's got 4 years left on his contract.
Oh, because he's refusing to sign. And people make clickbait up and making stories out of non-stories. It gets regurgitated on YouTube. It gets regurgitated on articles, media. Don't use people's art.
Do you know who I'll give credit to? I'll give credit to Keith Downie on his own YouTube channel, because what he said is that in terms of contracts and X, Y, and Z, why don't the players just perform well and then they'll get rewarded in time? And I thought he was absolutely bang on.
And just to see out Isak as well, great to see him score a couple of open goals now.
Yeah, that's what we need. Take that into the Arsenal game. Look, 2.5 days and it's Arsenal, 12:30 St James's.
Good job with Tolman home.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Arsenal have obviously played, and I know they've made changes. I think six changes they've made, I think, tonight. So, look, it was always going to be a comfortable win for them at Preston, with the greatest of respect to Preston North End. But another big test. Is it just a case, performance has got to be up there? If we get something from the game, a bit like Man City, then it's a bonus. Or I was saying, well, then Arsenal aren't Manchester City, with the greatest of respect.
They're not far off. Look how far they pushed them. And we got the win last season, and now it was very controversial how we scored. It was all like the 3 talking points was the ball over line, was it a foul and offside? And all
Do you know that the ball's a sphere?
Yes.
Yeah, our Arsenal fans. Sphere.
It's a disgrace. Let's just hope it's not quite controversial and it's a decent performance. I think they've got to mirror each other. They cannot play well and not score, and vice versa. They can't play poorly and grab a result, because I think the paper has the cracks. And I actually think this win tonight is more bigger than Eddie Howe than it is for Newcastle United.
Yeah. Question for you in the comments. The Saudis.
Next to see a smile on your guys' faces.
Do you know what it is? I've just picked you up.
Oh, have you? All right.
Yeah,
thanks.
because obviously we're talking about Alexander Isak's last game for Newcastle, because he's only got 4 years left on his contract. So, and I just said, because obviously you mentioned about the fact that on your own video that why players are just playing and playing well, they'll get rewarded with new contracts in time. And Anthony Gordon was the perfect example.
That's what you have to do tonight. Go out there and show it. Stop talking about it. Stop being frustrated that things aren't happening. Go out and make it happen yourself. And they did that tonight. Look, I know Chelsea made so many changes, and I think that played into Newcastle's hands. Well, it did play. You could see Eddie Howe. I spoke to him in the tunnel beforehand, and I said, I'm just trying to work out all Chelsea's changes. And he goes, I know. And he goes, we were trying to go. You could tell he thought that gave them a good chance tonight. It didn't. But look, that's not an excuse. Newcastle still turned up tonight, and that was the kind of pressing performance that you've been missing for a while now.
Is that the best performance of the season so far? Because
I
don't think there's been many.
I think it's the most important. I know it's a cup tie and it's not Premier League, but you're not going to win the Premier League, are you? Whereas you actually got a chance of winning something there. That's one of the big teams knocked out. So it's hard to remember. It probably is as good a performance as we've seen. And do you know what I thought as well tonight? The fans have kind of been saying, look, let's see Tonali more, not so much a holding role, but let's see him in that central role rather than Bruno. He did that. Let's see Kelly at centre half instead of Dan Burn. Let's see the high pressing. Let's see Gordon in, Barnes out. I know that that was enforced at the weekend. It felt like everything the fans had asked for he did tonight, and then they responded with.
Just finally on Tonali, because it's interesting, because obviously you were at the press conference yesterday.
This wasn't organised, by the way.
No, it wasn't. But just finally, just on Tonali, because obviously in the press conference it was asked by, I don't know who it was, I have to be honest, but when I seen it afterwards, it was a case of, look, I don't want the fans to be negative when he gets taken off, leave that till the end of the game. Do you think Tonali would have played 90 minutes if that question wasn't even asked yesterday?
No, I honestly don't think it had any difference. I think he's probably been building him up towards it anyway. I think there was a little bit of Eddie that probably thought, right, do you know what? Maybe I just need to sort of, because I think all managers can be stubborn because they all think these are my decisions. I think there's an element of thought, right, let's kind of do what everyone's been asking within reason. Like, I don't think he's just letting the fans pick the team, but I think with Tonali, at the weekend they were struggling a little bit when Tonali came off and they didn't have any reinforcement, like sort of defensive reinforcement, and I think they needed Longstaff to come in at that time. It looked like a defensive substitution, but I think they felt they needed it at the time. And of course Chelsea then go and get the winner, and you're like, oh, actually that looks like, was it before the goal they took him off?
It was just after the goal.
Was it just that?
Yeah.
So it looks like a defense, but they were getting overrun in midfield and they needed to do that. And listen, let's see, Sean Longstaff comes in tonight, and I know, look, he gets a lot of criticism, but he's come in tonight, and the stats are unbelievable about Newcastle winning whenever he's in the team. I just think he allowed, not saying he allowed Tonali, because Tonali wasn't bursting forward, but he just gave Tonali more of a platform to play, whereas Bruno, Tonali and Joe Linton, it's almost too flamboyant, isn't it? Like, you just feel like you need a digger in there, and that's what Sean Longstaff did. No, I don't think that's the reason he did it tonight. I think he's probably just been working him up towards that. And look, I think he deserved to stay on because he was top player. I thought him, and I thought Lloyd Kelly was excellent at centre back. Yeah. And by the way, how good's Emil Kraft? Every time he plays,
you see his Maradona run in the second half.
Every time he plays. But anyway, that's just interviewed Maresca in there. And I've not seen a manager, so not happy but content. I think they had 4 games in 8 days coming up had they gone through tonight, and I think for them it's probably a bit easier there. Like, look, I'm not saying they tried to lose, but like, I just think for him,
Chelsea.
yeah. I mean, bringing Cole Palmer and not bringing him on off the bench. But anyway, give you guys something to look forward to.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe to Keith's channel as well.
Right, cheers, boys. See you later.
See you later.
Thank you.
Yeah, so there's Keith Downie's thoughts as well. So inside the press conference that you would have heard Eddie Howe answering some of his questions after the game as well.
Smells good.
He's got good aftershave. Just finally, man of the match tonight.
I think Keith's just said it there. It's, I think Isak deserves a lot of praise. I want to keep shouting that because I criticised him on the weekend for not putting that chance away or not squaring it. Lloyd Kelly, that's something that we can look at. It doesn't always have to be Dan Burn until Spotman comes back, we can look at that later in the season. And I think we've got to go Tonali. I think that first half performance, we just had that as just 45. That's like a 9.5, and I don't do 0.5s, by the way. It's always because he was absolutely. I hate them, but he was absolutely sensational. Obviously, second half we sat back a little bit. I'll go Tonali because he's in his position that he loves, and he just looked sensational, didn't he?
I don't disagree with that. I thought Lloyd Kelly was absolutely outstanding. I thought Emil Kraft was absolutely outstanding. But I agree, I'll go with Sandro Tonali. I think he was absolutely brilliant, and he was on midfield match. It was so important how Newcastle clicked for that first 60, 65 minutes. And then obviously Bruno kind of done most of the rest when he came on. He deserves a bit of an honourable mention as well. Great work by our captain as well. But yeah, that is about it. You've had a little bit of everything. You've had somebody from the Isle of Man. You've had Sky Sports' Keith Downie as well.
You've had us too.
You've had us too as well. We're just kind of thereabouts, aren't we? We're just kind of just...
Yeah, every week.
We're here every week. But yeah, it's Arsenal in a couple of days' time. Like I said, 3 Minute Mullen show tomorrow. Ian Stone, make sure you give that a watch, listen, depending on if you want to listen to it as a podcast or watch on YouTube, your preference. What are you going to do for 2.5 days?
Well, I'm back at Graft again. Long day, but I've got a couple of stuff on Extra. We've finally got it monetised after so many years working on that. So got a couple of stuff that was up in the bed, alpacas and just staff stuff, and obviously with the safari as well. But back to the football stuff. Obviously we've got the Arsenal home, and then I'm away down Birmingham, which funny enough Sam is down the Midlands, ironically.
Carl as well. Carl's going
as well. Yeah, so I'm going to say all their family. So we'll see if I'm in the press or not. That's to be TBC.
Yeah. So Arsenal on Saturday, Birmingham on Sunday, and you're going to buy Keith Downie's aftershave, aren't you?
Keith, let me know.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I'm in a much better mood now, and I'm sure everybody else in the comments will be saying how good about everybody. But do you know what? Probably Alexander Isak's goal and Joe Willock's goal, probably just about the cherry on top of a fantastic cake tonight. Like and subscribe to Newcastle Fans TV, and we'll see you all very soon.